Day morning. I like to say what day it is so that we all can remember. As you all know, YWTV is here to engage, inspire you, and keep us all connected during this time where we're living apart. And we have been bringing different topics to you. This morning, we are happy to celebrate Earth Day. We are honoring Mother Earth. She has definitely, I think, spoken. Definitely spoken. And, this is going to be a interesting time to look back on and how our kind of halting our living has impacted climate change and Mother Earth and looking at that and seeing, what of that we keep going as we move forward. But for today, as we celebrate Earth Day, we decided to invite one of our friends, one of my friends, and one of our YW friends, president and owner of Artware for Good, Miss Diana Polack, to join us this morning. Good morning, Diana.
Hi, Helen. Thanks so much for including me today.
Oh, so happy to have you. Diana has a wonderful company called Artware for Good, which she'll tell us about. And they have a wonderful project for Earth Day for children, families, adults, anyone to partake in. And I thought we would drop it in this morning so that especially all the parents at home, because if you're like me, as the day goes on, you're looking for something to do, with your littles. And this is a great project. So Diana, first start. Tell us a little bit about Artware for Good, and you've started this company 25 years ago, which
Yep.
is really impressive.
When I was 12,
Yeah,
but yeah,
a teenage entrepreneur. I love it. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
We'll have a
Right.
different workshop about that.
Sure.
But tell us a little bit about what prompted you to start your business and a little bit how it's evolved over the years.
Okay. I'll try to do it very quickly because it's a long history, but it literally was an Indian princess project that my daughter and husband did with their Indian princess tribe. It's that daddy daughter, like Girl Scout type thing where at 5 o'clock on a Sunday night when Nell was 5, they needed to come up with an idea for an art project for their tribe to do the next day. So we quickly, after me yelling at them that it's about daddy and daughters, we came up with this idea that the girls would draw a picture of their what their Indian princess tribe meant to them. We would keep the art and tell them that we had a very special gift for them at the next meeting. And then we presented the girls with t-shirts that had their own art on it and their tribe name. Now, this was like 25 years ago or a little longer, and there weren't computers and there wasn't the ability to go online and buy art on products, and you didn't see it all the time. It was magic. It was like literally magic. The girls saw their art on a t-shirt. Each one was different. They lit up, and within 2 or 3 days, I had a graphic designer, came up with a name, and we were approaching schools all around New Jersey saying, hey, we have this program where we raise money for art with art. It like literally was just how my career began. But the beauty of it is, I've always believed that my work needed to involve philanthropy and art. So it was a beautiful way of blending it together. So for 25 years, that's what we've been doing. We've been gathering communities to get together, to get creative, to do social good. And it's taken on many different iterations through the years. We work primarily with schools, nonprofits, and most recently, over the last few years, corporations, where we come in and do a team building that can end up in a staff development project or a charitable gift. And there's many ways that can be used. So that's the history.
Well, and I have to say, I've been part of one of your team building projects, and we've also at the YW been the beneficiary of the agency that's received one of those projects. And it's an incredible experience to, as an adult, especially, if you're not around kids where you're creating all the time and you're not an artist, you kind of sometimes have shut off that piece of yourself where you're making something
Right.
with the kind of tools that we use for your projects. And I have to say, we kind of get stuck, I think, at a certain age of this, like, well, that's not doesn't look good, or that's not right, or that's wrong, or it should look like this. And it really is a process, to create something, and you really give us that freedom in the experience that you've created, I think.
Thank
So I love that. And so I do encourage anyone out there who's looking for a really interesting team building experience to check it out. I'm also excited to say that the YWCA will be, when we can get back to our office and have our ribbon cutting for our new office, we'll also be showcasing a piece that you did with us, with our team and our staff, to create a beautiful piece of art that really speaks about the YW, and that was created by our team, right in our waiting room. So when anyone comes to the office, that they will get to see it. And I've seen pieces of it in process, but very excited to see it hanging up, and for everyone to be able to enjoy it as well when they come to our offices. So
Thanks. It is beautiful in piece, and I cannot wait to see it.
the full piece. So with that, so tell us a little bit about this Earth Day project and how it came about.
Sure. So, as I had mentioned, with Artware, we're all about gathering, creating, and doing good. And when this pandemic, and stay-at-home place came to be, was like, how do we gather? We can't gather the same way. We can create and we can do good, but how do we come together while social distancing? And I sat for this a while, talked to lots of people, listened. We had lots of like Zoom calls with other entrepreneurs and listening to challenges, and moms that are now, the CEO of a company and homeschooling their children. And I just listened and listened for a little while, and it just it just came to me that we can gather virtually, and what we can offer is a way for families, children, adults, anyone who wants to, is to create some art, because it seemed to me as if what this has been, the gift out of this stay in place, is that we are slowing down, and we are tapping into creativity in different ways. I've never seen so many pictures of bread making,
Yeah.
online, right? And knitting and sewing, and the idea that we have time to make craft and we have time to draw with our children. And there's a whole bigger picture behind this, that our earth is really healing from this quieting, right? It's quiet. The earth itself is quieter. The skies are clearer. You can see Mount Everest from India. LA doesn't have as much pollution. I went to Nepal, and everyone kept saying, look, that's where Mount Everest is. And you could not see it till we got on the plane and we were above the clouds and the smog. So the fact that you could stand on the ground and see it is amazing.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, wow, the earth is healing. We're trying to heal ourselves. We have time to make art. My gift that I can give to people is the ability to color, to draw, come together as a family. So Color Our World gives you the opportunity to download templates. And I have some here. We have some beautiful submissions. I'll show you. So we were very lucky to have an artist draw for us, basically like coloring book pages. And there are a whole bunch of different, this way, images of the earth, global art. There's just art and love. We were just trying to think of the earth and love. That's the same one, but there's 5 altogether. And then people are downloading the art, and it's free of charge. You can download as many as you want. All you have to do is put your email address in, and then you have the ability. I just love some of these. Look at this one. Somebody here, they cut it out and put it on their own background.
That's great.
And we just want you to have fun. We want you to be able to draw and then start a conversation with your families about compassion, about help, about the earth. But there's a part 2 to this if you choose, and it by no means feel obligated. But we also wanted to turn this into a fundraiser, because that's what we do at Artware for Good. We're about helping nonprofits. And since we couldn't really nonprofits are all hurting, we were trying to figure out what can we do to make a big impact. And I think the people that are getting hurt the most are obviously those that are more disadvantaged. And there's so many kids in the United States, which this at the Y, this is part of your work. But I don't think people realize how many children get that free meal at school. that rely on the food that they get at school. And most are getting it, some are not, but funds are needed to keep that going, because if they're not in school, they still need if they're not in school, they still need their food, and it even costs more to mobilize to get the food to them. So No Kid Hungry
Yeah.
provides that service. And so what this is a fundraiser for No Kid Hungry. So if you choose to take it a next step, you can upload the art to our website. And of the $22 fee, it's 70% of that goes to No Kid Hungry. So we're doing this as
Mhm.
a feel good, do good project. But we're also just so happy that if you want to just come and make art, we're happy for you to do that as well.
Well, and I totally encourage parents and individuals. Like I said, I mean, coloring now has really, the last few years become one of those kind of relaxing and meditative actions that we can all take. I encourage everyone to download the images and just enjoy them. And again, if you're inclined to go that next step, please do. That's a wonderful organization doing amazing work and really important to be thinking about right now. So we encourage, but everyone take this opportunity today. Take a little self-care moment for yourself. Take an opportunity for a little in-home art class for your children, and download some of these beautiful images and have some fun with them for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think what you shared about the earth healing, I think is so key. I think it has been. Um, I mean, really amazing to watch and listen to how the quieting, is really impacting around us. And I think, for all of us, we've kind of had to learn how to do more with less. We can't get as many paper towels. We can't get as many, we can't be running to the store for every little thing. And we've, had to learn, how to do things a little bit differently. So, I keep watching all the and reading a lot of articles out of like the Harvard Business Review and places like that are talking about, technology and some of the changes we've implemented and what will stay with us. But I think, the other piece that I keep reading, and I hope everyone's reading as well, is, from a way that we're living that's a little bit more simplistic and um, definitely climate friendly. What of that can you take and make part of your permanent ways going forward?
Which is also a great conversation to have with children. And one thing I want you to mention, and Helen, I think we actually talked about this when we did your team building with the Y. When you're engaged in art and you're focused, it's like why we doodled in school. It's like when you are hyper focused on something, and sometimes when you don't have to look somebody straight in the eye to have a conversation, it's like, why do moms have such great conversations in the car with kids? And so we're not in the car now, right? We can't rely on the driving
Yes.
necessarily. But it's so interesting when the kids are focused on the drawing and things are quiet and they don't have to look you in the eye and you're not looking them necessarily in the eye. It's so interesting to see the quality of conversation that comes
That
out.
That's such a great point. I have to say, we actually had the experience. A friend of mine had mentioned that she had bought a tablecloth that you color on with, markers that stay, that don't wash out, and it becomes like your tablecloth. And um, so for Easter this year, I purchased one, and the Easter Bunny gave it to my kids. And, we put it out as our Easter tablecloth. And the whole family, as we were sitting around the table this year, in between courses, were coloring on this tablecloth. And I have to say, it really was a tremendous experience because my 89-year-old mother, my 7-year-old twins, and, my husband and I in between, we're all sitting there. And I totally agree. We were able to have conversations. It was very relaxing, and and it's something you can feel proud and look at, of what you made afterward.
Right, right, right.
So that I fully agree that creating a piece of art, coloring, is such a tremendous opportunity for relationship building.
Absolutely. And meditation.
Yes.
Even even once the kids go to bed, take out some markers or crayons and do it yourself. I mean, when you look at adult coloring books, right? They didn't exist a few years ago. Then now you would walk in, well, not now, but before this, you'd walk into Barnes and Noble. They're all over the place,
Yeah.
right? Adult coloring books. So
Well, our
absolutely.
Healing Space team, which is our sexual violence resource center, actually our waiting area for our clients, which actually has a table that you gifted us from this
Right.
project in it. We have all coloring supplies and beautiful mandalas and other figures and drawings for us people to color. And our team, actually, our team of clinicians and our prevention specialists and our hotline advocates, who really have a very stressful job because they're managing a lot of secondary trauma from the work that they're doing. They spend a lot of time coloring, in between the day and during, different meetings just to kind of
Right.
relax. So it is absolutely a self-care and meditative activity that I also encourage. You don't have to have children in the house to do it for sure. But it's definitely an opportunity for relationship building with anyone that you're sitting next to do if you're doing it side by side with someone. And it's definitely
Right.
meditative and self-care alone.
Right. And also if you're doing any kind of virtual team meeting now too, it's something where everybody can, again, to that same point, if you're
Yeah.
not looking at each other and talking and you're sitting there and you're coloring something that's unified, then you can also have that conversation that might be a little more challenging or difficult.
Yeah, yeah. And we had that experience as a team as we were working. It was very, our YW team as we worked on the project that we'll be unveiling as soon as we can get back to, being in our office space. It definitely was an opportunity for our team to sit together and have conversations that we probably normally wouldn't have. So I fully agree.
And they were just getting to know each other, some of them,
Yeah,
weren't they? If I remember right, it was like
yeah.
some
We
new
had,
team members.
yep, we had some new staff, so it was a great opportunity for them to get to know each other for sure.
Right. Makes sense.
So, folks, definitely go to, and we're going to have the link for you. Go check out Diana's website. We encourage you to download these beautiful images that she had created for this Color Our World project. And we encourage you to, enjoy them. Before we check out, Diana, just I know that you are a woman-owned business, female entrepreneur, and I know that you're very active in helping mentor and grow over the course of your career so many other um, women-owned businesses, small businesses, and helping them along. I know you've been involved with so many. Actually, how I met you, actually,
Exactly.
those many years ago. Um, so I know a lot of the small businesses right now are really um, trying to figure out how to keep it going under this change in how we operate. What advice do you have? I mean, obviously you've kept your business going for 25 years, which is and evolved it, which is really impressive because sometimes these ideas have a shelf life, right? Um,
Exactly.
but you've definitely, changed with the times. What can you share for any of our small business owners watching?
For right now, this is probably the most unique time we're all experiencing, right? So it has its own set of ways and needs to pivot. And I have to say that I think that what's helped me a lot in this time is to realize that all of these changes, I mean, I think we're being given a gift right now. I think we're being given a gift to really, as the earth quiets, as life quiets, as we realize like what's meaningful in life and what isn't. I think it's a time for us to assess what are our unique strengths and talents. Like what is our uniqueness that we want to bring out into the world. And for me, I in one day my whole business just went away. Like all my future business went away. But when I really realized that it wasn't any of my doing, right? This wasn't because we failed as a business. It's because we're in this situation that's larger than ourselves. It actually gave me some solace and it gave me permission to just go quiet. So I can say that if you have a meditation practice, ramp it up. And if you don't, try. And I think it's time to listen to your heart and listen to what it is that you really want to do. What is the legacy that you want to create in the world and where do you want to go? Because as you said, I've lasted 25 years, but I've pivoted many times, and some of the pivots have failed, and some of the pivots have been amazing. And I feel the most proud of what we're doing right now because I feel like we're stepping up to what's needed and wanted, like really listening to what's out there and the market research. We have time now. We have time to research. We have time to ask questions. We have time to listen. We have time to just really play a little bit and see what happens.
That's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. So
Or
before we sign off, how are you spending Earth Day today?
I'm spending Earth Day. I'm actually watching Facebook and Instagram, and today was the day we were really pushing out
Mhm.
our message. And I am loving watching how everybody is embracing Color Our World and sharing the message of what we're doing. So I'm watching that. I feel like creating this program is how we are celebrating Earth Day. And then I'm definitely going to bundle up with scarf and gloves and a hat because it's so cold here in New York and in upstate New York. And I'm going to go for a long walk in the woods later.
Well, that's a beautiful way. I have to say, it's nice to see the sun shining on Earth Day. I think hopefully that can give us all a little bit of hope. This really is a day that normally there's, amazing, rallies and that are
Right.
outdoors, celebrating, cold or not. It, doesn't keep anyone, away from, just being out there and enjoying, the earth and, so many great messages and conversations. And I think the thing is that global reach is still happening today. For those of you watching, stay connected all through Facebook. There's a lot of activities and messaging and conversations that will be had. Obviously, connect with Diana about her project, but there's so many that you can learn a little bit about what's happening with climate change and ways that you can make an impact. And I think spend some time. I encourage everyone to spend a little time and to use Diana's words, how the quieting of the earth has really impacted climate change. I know that prior to this happening, everything was felt very doom and gloom that, we've, messed up, Mother Earth and there's no turning back. But I think we can see that, a massive initiative can make a significant impact. So, we are not powerless. uh,
True.
and we can make an impact. So, this is a good day for maybe part of your meditation to be, how you can make a lasting impact on our Mother Earth for sure. And lots of ways to educate yourself and learn about that. I wore blue for the ocean and the sky. And I was going to do the Facebook Live from outside, but I sit outside on my deck with the laptop and I was like, yeah, it's a little too cold. I'm going inside.
There was a frost warning this morning. Yeah, no.
And even though I'm in New Jersey, it is still cold. So I decided
Right.
to celebrate Earth Day in the basement. No, no, but no, later we will get outside. Anyone who is homeschooling little ones, especially, I know anyone really, it's just that when the days are nice, you can get outside, and that's makes a really big difference, even if you're just walking around your yard or, taking a walk on the street. But especially with the little ones, it's so important to get outside a little bit each day. So I'm grateful that the sun is shining to be able to do that. And we hope that you all are staying healthy and well where you are, and sending you, lots of good thoughts and strength, because I do know that everyone is up and down right now. Lots of different experiences everyone is having. We try to focus on ways to stay lifted and engaged, but there are some realities happening around us that we definitely need to acknowledge, and want all of our friends to know that we're thinking of them and standing with them through it. This afternoon, if you are available at 1 o'clock, and if not, you can watch it later. I do encourage you to watch the replay of the Facebook Live we did with Dominique Thomas of 350.org. It was an amazing conversation that we had on environmental racism. And I personally learned a lot and was really impacted by it. And I definitely encourage everyone to take some time today to listen to that conversation. And really think about how, um, even what's happening around us right now impacts, people living in different communities differently. So definitely check that out. Tomorrow, we encourage you to join us for what we call a courageous conversation, and part of our Stand Against Racism uh, events that we're doing in April, which is part of a national initiative that YWCAs do. We'll be talking with Reverend Ashley, who is the co-chair of the Interfaith Anti-Racism Coalition, and Christopher Kwok of the American Asian Coalition. And I'm really looking forward to that conversation and you joining us for that. And on Friday, which is our Friday focus on small businesses, Carithia Oates of the Bergen County Black Business Network, and Tevra Francis, who is the publisher of Bergen in Color, which has really, in a short time, become a really important kind of marketing and outreach effort to showcase um, events. And so I encourage everyone to follow Bergen in Color. Both our Facebook pages and their Instagram page. Tevra is doing some amazing work, and looking forward to talking with them about how small businesses, some ideas for small businesses to stay strong during this time. So again, we encourage you to stay strong too. We're thinking of everyone. Diana, thanks for spending this time with me. As
Thank you, Helen, for having me.
it's always
Thank you, everybody.
and Facebook friends, be well, have a great day, and we will see you later and then tomorrow. Take care. And feel free to watch this later, share it with friends, and send anyone over to Diana's website to download the images and have some fun with them today. Take care. Be well. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.